Okay class, today we're going to talk about Chapter 7, Inventory. The first thing we need to talk about though is inventory control. The best thing for you to do is to, while viewing this particular video and listening to it, is to follow along with the PowerPoint that is out in Angel called Inventories Lecture. So you'll see all of these slides face-to-face on your computer along with listening to the videos. Inventory control actually starts with a purchase order. A purchase order is a form that we use to authorize the order from a vendor. We then follow that up with a receiving order. This is delivered along with the order to ensure what was ordered is received. This should match the PO, and if it does not match, then the discrepancy should be resolved at that time. Invoices are received later and should match up with the PO and the RO. And all inventory should be accounted for in security measures taken to minimize theft, storing inventory in a secured area, locking up high-valued merchandise, two-way mirrors, cameras, security tags, and guards. Reporting inventory via physical counts is very important to maintain an accurate value of inventory for financial statements. All of this is very much important for inventory control. Now, what we're specifically going to talk about in this particular chapter are what we consider to be inventory cost assumptions. Now remember, this is just an assumption, okay? And so there's a need to capture the cost of each item in the inventory, especially with the inventory that is in the system. There are several inventory cost assumption methods that we're actually going to talk about. We're going to do the specific identification method, which is to identify each unit with a specific purchase. Not always ideal. An ending inventory is made up of the remaining units left on hand. Specific identification methods should be for specialty item stores where items are unique and they're only one of a kind. This particular method does not work for many other locations. We're also going to talk about first in, first out. We're going to talk about last in, first out, Fifo and Lifo. And we're also going to talk about the average method. FIFO is based off of the assumption that the first item bought is the first item you sell. And LIFO is made up under the assumption that the last item you bought is the first item that you're going to sell. And what we're looking at is we're not actually looking at what did we really sell. We're looking at a cost assumption so we can determine cost of goods sold. Chapter 6, we learned about cost of merchandise sold and you were given a figure. Now we're going to learn how to determine what that actual figure is. So let's take a look at specific identification methods, since that one actually happens to be one of the easier ones to determine. So we've got specific identification method here, and straighten this up so everybody can see this. And what we're looking at is we've got a May 10th purchase, 1 unit for $9, a May 18th purchase for 1 unit at $13, a May 24th purchase of 1 unit at $14. We have a total of 3 units in inventory that have a total cost of $36. If a unit was sold on May 30th for $20, the cost of goods sold and gross profit will vary depending on the unit that was actually sold. So let's take a quick glance at that particular method and the cost of goods sold or cost of merchandise sold, however you want to actually look at this. Okay, so if on May 10th we sold an item for $20 and the cost of goods sold was $9, then we're going to have a gross profit of $11. This is very much like what we just learned in Chapter 6. Okay, but we're going to take this out a step further. We now know where the cost of goods sold came from because we know that's how much that unit cost us. The gross profit is the difference between sales and cost of goods sold. And what we now have is what our ending inventory is. Ending inventory value is $27 because we have left the $13 unit and the $14 unit. On May 18th, if I sold that unit that I purchased, my sales would still be $20. My cost of goods sold is now $13. My gross profit is now $7. And my ending inventory is $23, made up of the $9 unit and the $14 unit. And if I sold the item that I bought on May 24th, my sales are still $20, my cost of goods sold is now $14, my gross profit is $6, and my ending inventory is $22. You can see across the board that the gross profit is going to be different for each item that is sold, along with the ending inventory values are different. This is very important depending on the locality that you work in and the taxes that you're looking to pay. Gross profit, if I look at it on the gross profit end, this actually leaves me more money to pay the bills that I need to pay. But if I'm looking at how much taxes I'm going to have to pay at the end of the year, then I need to be careful with my ending inventory. And it's not always evident in the specific identification method, but when we get into FIFO and LIFO, you're going to see a huge difference between gross profit and ending inventory, and whether we pay taxes on a higher net income or a lower net income, and whether or not we pay taxes on the ending inventory value that's left over. So, with the specific identification method, again, what we're looking at is what item did we specifically sell, and where did this particular amount come from, and what the gross profit is in the ending inventory. And again, specific identification method is actually the easiest one that you're going to encounter, and unfortunately it gets a little slightly complicated from here.